I would suggest first and foremost checking with in your school districts. Oftentimes, a lot of those things already exist, and sometimes we're not even aware that they exist. And sharing those tutorials, and as Jen mentioned often as well, not just for our parents, but also for our teachers. Oftentimes, we need the tools that we need are right there in front of us. So I think that would be helpful to check with your district, see what is available first, and then if not, then perhaps going out and creating some screencast or wherever you may feel comfortable. And I know for many teachers, this is all new world for you, right? Like you got the learning management, you got the content, how I'm supposed to build. So if you don't feel comfortable creating screencasts, my go-to has always been YouTube. I promise you, there is just about any type of tutorial on any tool that already exists in YouTube. If you just Google how to use whatever that platform may be, there is something there already. So if you don't feel comfortable creating something, check and see what's already available and then share that link as well.
The only thing that I would add to that is to also, in addition to video, perhaps do step-by-step PDFs as well. I know that some people prefer to read and some people prefer to view, and some kids are not going to have the bandwidth to watch the video. So having multiple entry points for families is also a really great idea.
Yes.
Excellent. Well, that kind of leads into my next question. What should we be mindful of as we consider the students that may be in our virtual classrooms? Perhaps they're different family structures. What type of suggestions do you have and that we should be mindful as we approach that?
I think one of the things, again, just keep, for me, going back with that equity lens, as we're looking at so many tools, and there are tons of tools out there. I mean, we could spend months and years just talking about online tools. I go back to making sure that you know whatever learning management system, if you're having on your district, know that well. There are so many nuances to many of our learning management systems that many people don't even use it to its full capability. And then once you have managed that, then begin looking at outside tools. But be mindful too that if you are asking students to use so many tools, be mindful, is every tool going to need a password? Think about your acceptable use policies in your district. You know, for some younger kids, you can't have personal accounts if you're under 13 or younger. You know, so all of those little small nuances. I would also, as a former librarian of 26 plus years, I would also consult with my library media specialist or my IT partner to see what are our acceptable use policies as well, because that we make great instructional partners in this, right? So you don't have to do this alone if this is all new to you. And also be mindful, again, if we're creating or adding all these new tools and we have to create tutorials for parents, that's great. But think about, there's some kids at home who do not have someone that's gonna be able to help them with their homework or learn that new tool. So just be mindful of that too. As am I developing this lesson, is it truly accessible to everyone? Because access does not equal accessibility. I may have access to it, but doesn't mean I necessarily can access it.
And I would say also be mindful of accessibility pieces as well. Like, does it work with a screen reader? Does it have text to speech? Is it easily clickable? Can it be used on an iPad, or does it have to be used on a computer? So those are accessible pieces to think about as well when you're choosing those outside tools. And I know, like in my district, we have a vetted list of tools. And so talking to your school librarian, you probably could get a hold of that list of tools that we have for you very easily, and find tutorials on those that have already been created. So if you're not real sure about using a new tool, talk to somebody that has used it, and just also make sure that it's approved in your district.